Hey guys, in this one, I wanted to go through the best budget flagship phones. So what does that actually mean? Well, that's the best flagship phones you can get that aren't those absolute high-end, top-end models. I'm talking about the S20 Ultra, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, those extremely expensive top-end models. What can we get that is a flagship phone right now for $700 or less? First one on the list, OnePlus 7T Pro. This is still just such a great phone when you think about it, and is much better value for me than the OnePlus 8. I know the OnePlus 8, yes, it did make a lot of improvements. You've got an amazing screen. I think the design is just the main factor of that phone. It's such a great design, modern design. Also, that Instagram color, as I call it, on that phone is just stunning. It also has 5G, which may be very important for you, but it is expensive and it's not $700 or below. I still think the OnePlus 7T Pro offers great value. You still get a curved AMOLED, you do get a 90 Hz refresh rate, and you get a Snapdragon 855 Plus. So the Plus just puts it a little bit above the 855. So you're like a half step into the 865, as it were. And as a flagship phone, I still think it does hold muster. Great design, curved OLED screen. It looks premium, but you aren't paying that premium in price for the OnePlus 8, and the 8 Pro at $1,000, just not going to make this list. The Xiaomi Mi 10, the non-Pro, actually may be great value compared to the Pro version. So with the Mi 10, you actually give up on the zoom camera. So the Mi 10 Pro has the extra zoom range, and it's really good zoom as well. It keeps a lot of clarity there. You don't get that in the Mi 10, but you do also get a reduced price as well. What does the Mi 10 Pro have that the Mi 10 doesn't in other areas? Well, the Mi 10 Pro apparently has better speakers. That's what Xiaomi said anyway, but I used both of those phones before and my ear couldn't really tell much difference between them. Also, Xiaomi said that the Mi 10 Pro has a slightly higher spec'd out screen, so technically it does have more accurate colors. Again, I had them side by side, and I mean, to my eye, really was the same. So are you paying more for features that really give you a better experience overall? Maybe not. You also get a great ultra wide and the main very high megapixel image sensor. So overall, the Pro does actually have a couple of things over the non-Pro for sure in terms of the camera, but it's not going to make the list because that Pro version is more expensive. Depending on which market you're in and the availability of this, the Mi 10 is still a great device and is in some markets under $700. If you want to check out the prices of all of these phones, I'll put them in the description below, links to Amazon, and it will just go through to your country and you can have a look at the prices where you are. If you want a flagship phone from Samsung and you don't want to pay more than $700, then the S20 phones aren't going to be the choice. In fact, if you are going with a carrier or you've got some trade-ins, you may be able to get them pretty close to this price. But if you're just buying online, for example, then you're going to have to look at the S10 or even the Note 10 if you can get it down at this price. And actually, these are still amazing flagship phones. You have the 855 processor, you have Samsung's design, curved displays, and the Note 10 for me is just such a classic design. And a lot of reviewers are even holding on to the Note 10. They just see it as a more rounded phone overall, even though we've got the S20 series. These phones have very good battery life. They only have 60 Hz displays, and so the battery life is pretty good on them. I would say in the S20 Ultra and the Note 20 Ultra, there are some really high-end hardware and specs that you just can't get in the Note 10 or S10. But when you compare the S20 and S20 Plus and the base model Note 20, the differences are actually fewer than those Ultra models. So you can get an amazing flagship phone for less money if you go for last year's models that are being replaced. You get most of what you're getting in this year's models. Yes, the S20 phones do add 120 Hz, and that's a great spec. But for $700, you're not going to get that in a Samsung phone, so you might want to look at those too. The POCO F2 Pro definitely going to be the most affordable on the list, I would say. Maybe head to head with the OnePlus 7T Pro. Why have I put this one on the list? Well, it's a brand new phone that has 5G but is affordable. And for me, the compromises come comparatively to other flagships with the screen, so no high refresh rate, and the camera is good but not exactly flagship when you compare it to those other sort of high-end flagship phones. What's good about the phone though is that you've got the brand new Snapdragon 865 with 5G for this price, way under 700 bucks. I also really like the design. I just think it's a classic design. You've got a matte finish, good fast charging, a very solid flagship phone overall, and it's a new phone. The downsides are the screen. Also, just make sure if you are in any international markets, buying international phones, make sure the warranty and the network bands are supported. It's so important when you're buying a phone. I would suggest just paying a little bit more for a phone that really is supported in your area first, looking at that first. But overall, for the price, this is a new flagship phone, and all the others, you're having to make compromises. The iPhone 11 is the most popular iPhone in the 11 series, and that's because most consumers really can't see the difference of an extra zoom camera that you'll get in the Pro version and an OLED screen. Most people don't care about that, and the iPhone 11 is cheaper, and that's why it's just so popular. You have two great cameras, the main and the ultra wide, which are the two that you want. The LCD display, no one really cares about that except for us tech geeks who love OLED and just the colors that we get and the contrast, but most normal people don't care. The LCD looks great on that phone. It's a great phone. It's put together well, and a lot of people love that. Yes, the iPhone 12 series is coming up, and the rumors are that at least one of those models may come around about $750. So you might want to wait to see. The iPhone 11 will certainly get cheaper once those are out as well, so you may even get it at a cheaper price. But if you are spending 700 bucks, the iPhone 11 just is the one to go for in the Apple scenario. Then of course there are some phones that I've used that are China releases that you may be able to get access to, and they are the Reno Ace 2. It's really well specced out. High refresh rate screen, the best fast charging, and a brand new flagship SoC. The Mi 10 Pro in China is under $700. The iQOO Neo 3 is just a specs monster in terms of the screen, get a high refresh rate, is LCD though, just keep that in mind. The cameras are just okay, but in terms of power and gaming, you have the best processor, great fast charging. It's under 700 bucks, as is the OnePlus 8 in China if you buy the international version. There are lots of flagship killers as they're called, and they are very specs heavy. They have the brand new chipsets. They are China, Asia releases though, and so depending on which country you're in, that'd be great value. If you are in Asia, have a look at them. If you're not in Asia, then just make sure the network bands are supported and just take the risk in terms of no warranty. But they're worth a mention because they're definitely under 700 bucks in some markets, and they are very specs heavy. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on those. Any more that I missed, just put them in the comments so everyone can have a look at them. That is it for now though. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.